If you've been charged with DUI, DWI, before you give your hard-earned money to an attorney, here are 10 questions you want to ask them before you hire them. And the reason why is law school does not prepare you on how to defend drunk driving offenses, and most criminal attorneys have no idea what they're actually doing when they're defending drunk driving cases. So here are the 10 questions. Question number 1, do you know what's happening with my driver's license? When a person is arrested for a DUI, there's going to be a license suspension at the beginning of the case, meaning before the person pleads guilty or convicted. And if they do plead guilty or they are convicted, there's going to be another license suspension. And so every DUI has multiple license convictions. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, and it's a gift that nobody wants. There is credit time for the post-conviction suspension based on the pre-conviction suspension. There's also ability to get person driving to and from work so long as there was not a refusal and the prosecutor and judge agree. If the prosecutor doesn't agree, you can still go to the judge, but most judges don't want to give a person driving privileges unless the prosecutor also agrees. But there are things that a person can do at the beginning of the case to increase the likelihood a prosecutor will agree to a driving privilege. It's kind of messed up. It's a lot of hoop jumping, and a lot of attorneys, I've seen this happen all the time. Oh, well, you don't really want to ask for specialized driving privileges because it'll make the judge or the prosecutor mad, or it'll make it harder on you later. No, that's lazy attorney talk for attorneys that do not want to learn how to deal with driver's license. Now, that's if someone's first DUI. If there's their second, third, or more, license suspensions get increasingly more complicated. And then if there's a refusal, there's a whole set of problems with refusal. But guess what? At this law firm, we have seen every possible combination of driver's license issue, and we know what to do. And it's not because we're psychic or anything like that. It's just because we do so many drunk driving offenses, and we help so many people out. We know what to do. We know how to approach an issue. So make sure the attorney you hire knows what's going on with the driver's license. Number 2, have you ever taken a DUI case to jury trial? Not every case is going to go to jury trial, especially if you're charged with DUI, DWI. But I've been a prosecutor. I'm in these courts all day, every day. Prosecutors and even judges recognize when someone actually goes to trial and they know what they're doing. And they typically get better offers. Why? Because the prosecutor knows the attorney can go all the way if necessary. Again, not trying to go all the way on every single case, but you need someone that is recognized as someone that can actually go to trial and hopefully win when they do go to trial. Here at this law firm, we have done so many jury trials on DUIs, and we know what we're doing, and the state of Indiana knows that we know what we're doing. It makes things a lot easier. That's plain old psychology. If you know the person you're dealing with can make your life very difficult, well, you're going to probably try to say, hey, what do we got to do to work this out? And that happened to me when I was a prosecutor. The attorneys that I knew could go to trial, that I knew were persuasive, that I knew were good in front of a jury, I gave them better pleas because I knew I didn't have as much leverage over them. And it's the same true today. Please make sure whatever attorney you hire for a DUI has jury trial experience with a DUI. Even if you say, there's no way I'm taking this case to trial, there's a benefit that spreads out to all the clients once the prosecutor knows your attorney can do a jury trial successfully. Question number 3. Do you have any experience taking DUI, DWI cases to bench trial? Now, bench trial is no jury, just with a judge. This is important as well. Now, not every case is appropriate for jury trial, and not every case is appropriate for bench trial, but bench trials happen, at least our opinion, when there is a disagreement on the law. And being able to argue successfully to a judge about the law and win, that is going to be a significant benefit to any client of that lawyer. Even if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not taking my case to bench trial. I know I'm guilty. You don't know you're guilty. The state has to prove you guilty. And there's all sorts of little issues that can come up. But you want an attorney that is not afraid of jury trials and not afraid of bench trials. Bench trials are much more common in Indiana for DUIs and other misdemeanor offenses. So you want an attorney that's actually done those. I know attorneys that I went to law school with that call themselves DUI attorneys, have never done a jury trial, and they've only done one bench trial 15 years ago. That's not the attorney you want. You want an attorney that actually practices law and does trials, because you will get a benefit even if you think, I'm not going to do a trial, because the prosecutor and even the judge know your attorney knows what they're doing. So make sure your DUI attorney has experience doing DUI bench trials. Question number 4. Do you know which field sobriety tests are standardized? This is a trick question because so many attorneys love signing up DUI clients, but a lot of them don't take any time or effort to learn specifics about DUIs. This is a great trick question. And the only answer is one leg stand, walk and turn, and the horizontal gaze nystagmus, or the HGN. That's it. If they say anything else, they're either fibbing or confused, or worse, they don't know what they're talking about. Those are the only three. Now, there are other tests, Romberg balance test, finger to nose, backwards ABCs, pinky to fingers, and all the other fun stuff, but those are not standardized. They're not. The only ones that count are the standardized tests. So if you ask an attorney that question and they say something, well, that's not important, well, blah, 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 if they beat around the bush, or they can't say anything other than horizontal gaze nystagmus, one leg stand, and walk and turn, they don't know what they're talking about, call somebody else. Experience matters. And if your attorney can't answer that basic question about DUIs, you don't want them. Question number 5, and this kind of goes with question number 4. Have you completed the standardized field sobriety test training the officers have done? Here at this law firm, we have numerous attorneys that have done the same training on the one leg stand, walk and turn, and the horizontal gaze nystagmus that the officers have done. And that's important because actually just reading about something in a book versus doing it, going into a lab and doing the test on people that have drank alcohol, that shows you how unreliable, that shows you all the problems that can happen when an officer is administering the field sobriety test in the field. So just, you want someone that knows what they're doing and somebody that's taken the time and the talent to go and do the same training the officers have done. Well, that shows you, it gives you a little hint that that attorney probably knows what they're talking about and probably more experienced than somebody that has not. Now, a lot of attorneys would say, well, I don't have to do that training because I'm a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. Yeah, of course you are. But don't you want to know the problems with the training? The officers are trained in a perfect setting where no lights are flashing, the ground is level, and they're doing it in a safe environment. That's not how it's actually done in the field, and mistakes happen. And when an attorney understands what those mistakes are, it'll only benefit the person that's been accused of DUI. Question number 6. Have you ever kept a breath or blood test from entering into evidence at trial? Now, this is kind of a trick question because if the attorneys don't do trial, they're going to say no. But attacking the science of a DUI DWI case is a huge part of defending a DUI DWI case. And so attorneys that are able to keep out the breath test or blood test, that shows that they know what they're doing and they understand the science behind it. Here at this law firm, we have won appeals because trial courts have let in breath tests that we said, hey, you can't do that. We have kept out blood that was not done correctly. There's so many ways to attack this. And, typically the only way to understand how to attack the science is by going to training across the country, which this law firm regularly does. So if your attorney has never been successful in keeping out evidence at a DUI trial, particularly scientific evidence, you probably want to move on to the next attorney. Question number 7. Are you a member of the National College for DUI Defense? Now, the National College of DUI Defense is a national, organization that attorneys who have demonstrated proficiency in DUI can be part of. There's specialized training on blood, breath, standardized field sobriety tests, and there's all sorts of crazy things that they offer, including listservs. You can bounce ideas off attorneys in other states. Now, all states are different, but a lot of the science is the same because human beings are the same as they are in Indiana, California, New York, New Mexico. Obviously, the laws can be a little bit different, but keep that in mind. If somebody pays money to be part of the National College of DUI Defense, if they participate in the trainings involved, that probably shows you that attorney is probably better than someone that's not. So keep that in mind. Question number 8. Do you have any former experience as a DUI DWI Deputy Prosecutor? Now, this one is kind of tricky. The cool thing about someone that has had experience as a DUI DWI Prosecutor is they probably have done thousands and thousands of DUIs. Yeah, they're prosecuting them, but the cool thing is when you're prosecuting cases, you get to see the defenses and you get to see the issues and you learn how to resolve things. And then when you become a defense attorney, you get to turn that on its head and you get to do those same tactics you saw to prosecutors. Here at this law firm, we have numerous attorneys that were former prosecutors. And when they were former prosecutors, they were assigned to Marion County's DWI DUI task force. Now, that task force no longer exists. But at the time, I was only one of 4 attorneys that handled all the prosecutions. My other associates, they were one of 4 or 5 attorneys that handled all the prosecutions. So they saw a lot of DUI, DWI action, and they saw the tricks. They saw how to attack cases and they saw how people were defending cases. Having experience as a prosecutor is helpful because that likely demonstrates the person had lots of experience doing trials. Keep that in mind, and if it comes down to an attorney that has experience as a DUI DWI prosecutor and one that does not, choose the one that had experience as a DWI DUI prosecutor. Question number 9. Have you attended continuing legal education specifically for DUI DWI cases within the past year? What about the past 6 months? This is important because attorneys have to do continuing education every year, and a lot of attorneys kind of do things at the last minute. So you have criminal defense attorneys who took a 16-hour course on civil mediation because they ran out of time. Now, good attorneys will take continuing legal education on cases that they are knowledgeable or want to be knowledgeable about. And so don't be shy about asking them, hey, have you taken anything in the past year? Have you taken anything in the past 6 months? At this law firm, all of the criminal defense attorneys went to a national seminar on successfully advocating for DUI clients, learning the science behind DUI. And we've done this numerous times. We want to stay on top of our game, and we like being part of the audience. This law firm is also taught on DUI defense. We've taught other lawyers on how to be better DUI lawyers because, well, I feel bad for anybody that doesn't hire this law firm charged with DUI, but I want to make sure that other lawyers can get opportunity to fight as well. So please make sure that any attorney you hire, any attorney you give money to for your DUI case, please make sure they understand what they're doing. And one way they can show you that they understand what they're doing is by, yes, I have gone to training on DUI, DWI cases in the past year, over the past 6 months. Question number 10, are you affordable? That is an important question, and I understand when someone's charged with a crime, life doesn't stop. They still have to go to work, take care of their family, take care of bills, and we understand that. So we do offer payment plans, different pricing tiers. We will do everything we can to try to make it work with anybody that wants to hire us, within reason, of course. But you want to be affordable, because if you are the best attorney in the world but no one can afford you, it doesn't help anybody. So here at this law firm, we take pride in trying to do everything we can to be affordable to people so they can hire the absolute best DUI DWI defense. Give us a call, 317-632-3642. And remember, most importantly, always plead the fifth.